Shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash. We give double honors to the elders and apostles, chiefly of Great Millstone, where we've learned this truth. We're not officially a part of the Great Millstone camp, but we do study under their doctrines. We recognize that they have the 100% truth. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim, you brothers out there laboring, doing this work in all truth and sincerity. And also want to say shalom to you women and you Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth that may look like these other nations, but go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom to you. So today we just want to get into a subject relating to Eve. You know, Eve has gone through this earth being proud, having no accountability, you know, and you know, just sort of carrying on in a masculine spirit. But these times that we're coming into, you know, Eve's going to be humbled. You know, a lot of the 2/3 are going to make up Eve to be destroyed. You know, they're going to be Eve because she refuses to humble herself and hearken unto the men of the Lord. She just continues to be out here living her best life, and that's all going to come to an end. Now, when we deal with the scriptures, you know, we got to take the sweet with the bitter. So the sweet of the scriptures is that the Israelites are going to receive salvation. You know, the elect are going to receive salvation. You know, and that's a sweet thing. You know, you're going to be in the kingdom with the Lord, you know, forever. But the bitter is that on that journey towards the kingdom, you know, some Eves are going to have to go through some serious hardships, some judgment, some serious judgments. And I'm not just saying that Eve's going to go through judgments, because, you know, it's the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, so that's men included. But what I will say is, because there's more women on the earth today than men, a majority of the 2/3 are going to be women, you know, right? So the first scripture that I want to bring out is in the book of Revelation, chapter 10. And I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, "But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of the Most High should be finished, as he have declared to his servants the prophets." Right? So we're out here declaring the end of this wicked society, this wicked kingdom. Everything that's going on in the earth today, it's going to come to an end. It ain't going to carry on forever. Right? And verse 8 says, "And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again, and said, Go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth." Right? And that little book is talking about is the scriptures, the Bible, you know. Right? And I'm going to carry on, because the point is in verse 9, and it says, "And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey." So what it's saying is there, it's gonna be in your belly. You're gonna digest what the scriptures are actually talking about. It's gonna be bitter to you, right? Because the hardships and the judgments that's gonna come on people that you probably know, that you care about, is gonna be serious. But the sweet like honey, or in your mouth is sweet as honey. That's the positive end of that, which is we're going to inherit the kingdom. We're going to have salvation. The Lord is going to protect his elect from the coming destruction that's coming. Okay? But like I said, I just wanted to get more into going in on Eve to give you the bitter, because it seems like a lot of women nowadays, they're starting to realize that it's about to get serious out here.
Or begging a man to take care of me because I don't need that, honey. Look at me.
Few moments later.
I'm tired. I no longer want to be an independent woman. Forget that INDE. I'm good. I want to be a housewife.
Here's a little fun fact. There are more women on this planet than men. In the United States, we have about a quarter of our population in jail. Another quarter of our population identifies as LGBTQ. So with that being said, it is a nigga shortage out here. It is a shortage of available good niggas out here. So for all you bitches that think you deserve your own nigga, like your own personal nigga, like that's only yours. Like, okay, it's some women that do. But are you that bitch? Like, what do you bring to the table and make you think you deserve your own nigga and it's a nigga shortage? Sis, grow up. You gonna have to share that nigga. That's our
I
nigga.
hear a lot of men asking, well, what do you bring to the table? And women are now so attractive and, making money and all these things. So we feel like, well, that automatically makes me a good catch. Look at me, I'm attractive and I make some money. Do you understand that even if you have a good paying job, a man will walk past your 6-figure making self and as attractive as you are and go to the mugly girl at Burger King because she knew how to be his piece and how to give him what he really was looking for? It doesn't matter what you make. Men don't care. When men ask you, what do you bring to the table? They're simply asking, do you know how to be my peace? Will you listen to me? Will you encourage me? Will you help me to pursue my dreams and to be a better man and a human being? Are you compassionate? Are you kind? Are you loving? Are you nurturing? Will you pray with me? Will you pray for me? I'm out here fighting the world. I don't want to come home and fight with you too. If I'm going to fight, I hope that you'll fight with me and fight for me. Are you going to be everything that I need? Because at the end of the day, what I'm really looking for is peace and stability. They will walk past everything if you're not that.
Now you've got Russia, China, India, I think South Africa, and Brazil, the BRICS nations. They've formulated their own reserve currency, global reserve currency, right? Which is going to cause the dollar to crash. So all these women that are on OnlyFans or online, doing their thing, making all this money, raking all this money in, your money's going to be worthless. It's going to be absolutely worth nothing, And what happens when the economy collapses, All hell is going to break loose, and you women are the most vulnerable, When you think there's no money in society, and men are in their full strength, and there's nothing to stop them from doing what they want, you women are in trouble, Some of you may be trained in using a weapon, like a gun or something, but you've only got so many bullets before you run out. So you can only take out as many people as you can, and then what about the rest? But
the hardships as well, the hardships of the living as well. When it comes about, there's just some things that a woman can't sustain. She can't, she can't really. She hasn't got that fight in her to keep her to get her through. And really and truly, the only salvation there is out of the said troubles are, through Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. You know what I mean? That's the only way you can escape, really and truly. Because if you look at it, in that day, it ain't gonna be no picnic, even for men. And these women are actually completely out of order in our time. Completely out of order. Everything is turned on its head. This is the time of mass. It's coming into a time of mass judgment upon the earth. And who's going to be up for that judgment? But these women, these women that have exalted themselves over the man in these last days. So this is what it's come down to. It's come down to it's come down to who is for the Most High and who is not. Because even if you look into it, Israel is a wayward woman in the sight of the Lord, but it's still the bride, is still the bride of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Who the Most High said He will yet choose Israel and put them in their place. By 2/3. And another thing people don't understand is that the nation comes from the seed of men. You understand? So, the incubation of the seed goes through the woman, but the actual seed, Raza, race, lineage, goes through the man. Okay? So Israel goes through the man, whether you like that or not, because I know the woman has been exalted to a very high plateau to a high peak, should I say, in this wicked kingdom. But things are not, and this is not to say that women need to be downtrodden or abused, but the man has been created to be the head, you know, and he is her connection to the Heavenly Father, as Yahushua is our connection as men to the Heavenly Father, you know. Yeah,
That's right. You know, a man of the Lord. I mean, I'm not talking about just any man, because there are some scumbags out there. Don't get me wrong. Like there are some worldly men out there that are just completely off the charts, off the rails, right? But the men that I'm referring to when I'm speaking now is men of the Lord, right? They're going to be more precious than fine gold. They're going to be your only ticket out of here, you know.
Yeah.
If you sort of submit, like my brother brought out, like, you know, if you submit to your husband, you know, and it isn't an unrighteous thing for you to do that. I mean, a lot of women will look at that as some form of oppression.
Yeah.
But, you know, the role of a righteous man is to protect his family, right? To provide and protect his family. So you're going to be provided for. What would be the downside of that? You know, everybody has their role that they have to play, right?
Yeah.
Man has his role and the woman has her role, and that's how it works. But in this society, the roles have been flipped upside down on its head. So the women right now, like, and I'm not talking about every woman, before you used to get sensitive. So if the shoe fits, then wear it, right? But
Yeah, majority though.
yeah, the majority of most women, right, is just to be in a masculine role. Like, that's why you get a lot of these independent, I don't need no man women, you know. I scroll on TikTok and all I see is just videos of women just, you know, men, what do we need men for?
Baby, I can go date an Indian, a Hispanic, a white man. Y'all not the only options out here who think y'all doing well for yourself, and that's the problem.
You know what's the problem with
y'all done put yourselves on a pedestal when it comes to black women, and y'all need to bring it on down.
That's true. Y'all
Because we have gotten to start dating outside our race, okay?
That's true.
And finding a white man, you're not.
Here's the thing about men making comments about women only wanting them for money is y'all quite literally did not let women have any sort of financial capital for centuries. Like, the problem is self-inflicted. The call is coming from inside the house. But honestly, now that women can have their own financial capital, more and more we're realizing we don't need you. And we don't really want you either.
So tell us again what we even need men for? I'm real confused.
Dream work makes the dream work.
We need your sperm. We can just like get a little syringe for that. I think.
So
Well, I mean,
if I'm
Praying mantis style, y'all just
need a
use men
man
for sex, get their sperm, kill them off. Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet.
You know what I mean? Like, you need men to protect you, because when it all goes to shit, you know, your independence means nothing, you know. And you got these people like what's his name, Andrew Tate, you know, and you know, these manosphere, yeah, Donnies, right?
Tommy.
Yeah, exactly. They're speaking from a level of their experience, right? They're speaking from their experience, saying that every time they've dealt with a woman, they've always had this issue, or they've always had that issue. And in the comments, right, of these videos, you're seeing men just like, I agree, I 100% agree, because the psyche of the male, I guess the male psyche, you can say, is that women are the problem.
Who is better at self-improvement, men or women?
Men, but they're all gonna say women.
Women. Self-improvement, definitely women.
Okay, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 10. Let's see, like, they literally are about to be hypocrites in the first sentence. Women are better at self-improvement, but I'm already perfect. I know this because they all think the same thing. Listen.
Hands across the board. Oh, period.
Okay.
And they don't even realize the irony of that statement. They just so proudly look at the fucking lack of self-awareness and just all the pride on their faces from Instagram.
What would that make the man?
A piece of worthless wallet.
The wallet.
And if you say I pre-recorded this just dropped. It dropped while I was streaming.
And the only reason they don't sort of act out on that is because of the cancel culture, right? And if the law wasn't in place, I guarantee it would be a completely different story. They would act upon that, you know, because the way the system is set up is unfairly set against the men. And women know this.
Queen of Heaven worship. You know, it's no it's no coincidence that that star on top of your Christmas tree is the same star in Wonder Woman's head wrap. You know what I mean? That's that heavenly, that's that constellation sort of worship. You know what I mean? That's a Queen of Heaven worship. You know, come under a lot of names, but you know, and why you get a certain amount of men nowadays that are kicking up against this, you know, feminist liberalism that's only proven to be demonic in its true form. You know, really demonic upon the earth. A lot of, you know, and it's mostly Israelite men, Jake men, who are you know, who are pumping the brakes on that bullshit because, you know, in their spirit, they know that this is bullshit. You know what I mean? And a lot of those, like what you're saying, that you get a lot of wayward men who act up and act out. You know, a lot of those guys do that because of single mama drama.
It's shocking security camera video showing a woman lifting a toddler by one arm to the door. She rings the bell and pounds on the door. Then she turns and runs back to her car, leaving the little boy bewildered. It happened on this street in Houston. When the homeowners opened their door at 8:20 p.m. last night, they discovered the 2-year-old boy. They had no idea who he was. Courtney Fisher is a reporter for KTRK Houston.
And she just leaves the kid, takes off running, and gets the heck out of there. This little kid is left looking around, doesn't know what's going on. Thank God somebody was home at this house to let him in.
The video contained important clues. The woman is carrying a child's backpack in the shape of a monkey. She has very long hair falling past her waist. She has distinctive tattoos on her right arm. She sped away in a white sedan. Reporter Courtney Fisher went door to door asking if anyone recognized the woman or the boy. Watch what happens when she encounters this man.
That's my son.
Willie Simmons is the little boy's father, and it turns out he lives next door to the house where the child was left abandoned.
I'm angry. I'm upset.
He told us his son's name is Royal Prince Simmons. So who's the woman who left little Royal on a doorstep? She's a friend of the boy's mother, and Mom asked her to drop little Royal at his father's house, but she went to the wrong address.
Just imagine if my nice neighbors wasn't there. My son would have wandered in the street and got hit. Just imagine nobody would have been out here. He just would have been walking.
And why did the woman run away, leaving the toddler confused and alone?
Does she not care about this little kid who obviously had no one looking after him at that point? It's tough to watch.
Get my food stamps to the 7.
Lisa, how is that my problem?
But if you're trying to help out, though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to help my son.
How are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings?
Lisa,
them are his siblings, though. He's not finna eat in front of all his other siblings, and they're not eating on McDonald's. Why do I gotta put?
Bring him out to the car. I'll let him eat.
No. He's not finna eat that shit at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
Lisa, so you telling me that I gotta bring? So when I bring my son food, I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound dumb.
How is that shit dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are their daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other. You had them other kids. Them your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's? So you know I get food stamps on the 11th.
That ain't 3 kids that ain't mine.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's just the truth. You know, you got a lot of sassy dudes out here now. You know, just sassy, emotional, highly strung, feminine type males.
Nigga, they see you. Focus as hell.
You know? Effeminized males. You know what I mean? Especially in communities predominantly occupied by Jake. Because, you know, and that all stems from the devil, Esau. You know what I mean? Because he's had it where he's made a breeding ground for wayward women, where he's taken where he's taken the man out of the house, you know, executed population control in these abortion clinics and all different types of things, you know what I mean? Now you get mothers giving their, the formula was bad enough. Now you get, I've seen it. I've seen mothers feeding their toddlers with soda, you know, with soda. Imagine that, you know, and then you're gonna feed the toddler with these GMO chicken and this and that, and you know, it's just the culture of evil, you know, permeates and constantly. And listen, man, you can't put the whole thing on Esau, you know. It's a rebellious people we're talking about, you know what I mean? But really and truly, it's been Eve has been put in a position over the Israelite man, who they've brought very low, you know what I mean? So, you know, even when Moses came down from the mountain, the Most High said, stand aside, Moses, and he was ready to kill out the whole nation of Israel. But what did he say to them? I will bring back the nation through your loins. You know what I mean? So one Israelite man, according to that scripture, can create a whole nation again. You know what I mean? So the Most High's tabernacle is with men. You know what I mean? And he says that. You know, his word dwells with men. You understand? But what happened is that the man has been totally reduced within the society, and you know, and the women have taken control of the household and just created a breeding ground. What you get now, you know, with woman-dominated, woman-dominated areas. Murder, high rate of murder from emotional dudes, drug selling, you know, where these children can't be corrected, you know. You don't have a firm male hand in there. So Eve has really wrecked the place. You know, guys are, sky's the limit with how bad it is. You know, a youth man could be sleeping in one room and hearing his mother getting piped down in the next room, you know. Hearing her scream and bawl because she's got no shame, you know. He could see all different guys coming into the place time and time again, you know. All different people coming in. He could see drug selling as an acceptable, viable means. Okay, you know, all of this because Eve is bugged out of her mind and can't really take care of kids, especially male kids. You know what I mean? So they become overly effeminized, you know, overly sexed, like their mothers, you know. So they come to a point where they really a burden on society, you know, a burden on people who want to live right, you know. And that's through the hand of Esau, who has used, as it was in the garden, you know, he used Eve in that way, and now he's weaponized Eve against the nation of Israel, you know. I mean, because it's a great disgrace to see you know, your woman twerking and wearing stuff that reveals her whole body. You know, the body of a woman has really got to be for her husband. When she comes of age, you know, she's really got to be covered up all the time. But when she comes of age, especially so, you know, because now her body is the property of her husband. You understand? But through the freedom, you know, all this liberation, what they call it, you know, that demonic form of liberation. A woman doesn't want to be subject to nobody, you know. She wants to be free out there, where she can get a stimulus check, where she can get her accommodation paid for. You know, in America, food stamps. Over here, all different kind of benefits as well, as long as the man is not in the house. and that's the wickedness of Esau. But Eve has lapped that up and taken it to a new heights. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, with the whole sort of paradigm shift, right? I mean, it was prophesied that this was to happen, right? So I'm going to go back to the book of Genesis, 3rd chapter, and I'm going to start from where it all began, basically. And this is Genesis 3. It says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh, the most Yahweh power, had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden." Right? So the serpent isn't a snake, right? It's a serpentine-like manner, which Esau Edom fits that description because, you know, it comes in slyly.
He inherited
you know?
that. Yeah.
He inherited. That's
Yeah.
who he is, right?
Yeah.
He's a damn sly demon.
Very
right?
sly.
And it says, "And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden." And it's not talking about like an apple or grapes or anything like that. It's talking about the philosophies, the doctrines, right? But it's of the garden, so of the scriptures, right? And it says, "But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die." That's talking about the other philosophies. Don't even worry about learning Islam. Don't worry about learning Buddhism. Don't worry about learning all this nonsense about, you know, what's another one? Hinduism. Yeah, don't worry about that nonsense, right?
But if I may, just real quick, by and large, their women are in order, you know. By and large, those you know, the women of the heathen are actually in order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Subject unto the husband and you know, acting accordingly. In a goodly manner.
But just to sort of carry on, right? It says in verse 4, and this is how sly Esau Edom, or the damn devil, is, right? It says, "And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die." You ain't gonna die just by learning this. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. "For the Most High doth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil."
Yeah, he gave her.
Yeah, exactly. He gave her that thought. He put that seed in her mind. Like, yeah, if you learn this over here, you could be just like the Most High, that Queen of Heaven spirit.
Yeah, he
right?
gave her
being on top.
He gave her a university course.
Yeah, exactly. Gave her the university course. He said, "You'll be just like them. You know, your mind. You know, you don't have to be subservient to your man. You can rule him. You know, you can tell him what to do." And Eve, rubbing her fingers together, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great, right? And it says, "And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat." So she came back with all that she'd learned, went to her husband Adam, right, and was like, "Yeah, look, you know, this is what they're saying over there. This is what the heathen is saying, right? Yeah. This is what they believe in, you know." And Adam ate it up.
And it was pleasant to the eyes.
Yeah.
You know, it was pleasant to the eyes, so she thought she could capitalize on that. That's why with everything that is sold, it's largely engineered towards Eve's eyes. You know, things like, you know, who you see most in them Black Friday sales and things like that. You know what I mean? Because really and truly, it's the deception of the eyes, which, you know, because really a man can live without a lot of things, you know what I mean, but the woman makes him get, you know, and buy into the system, buy into a Babylonian construct, mental construct, you know.
Yeah.
To this day.
To this day. That's it. And it says, "And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons." Right. So obviously, after they digested the other doctrines of the other nations, they knew what they shouldn't have learned, basically. So they, instead of following the ways of the Most High, they started following after the customs of the heathen. You know, basically, to put it basically. But
yeah, if I may, and as you're saying, instead of following after the ways of the Most High, they followed after the customs of the heathen. We were speaking about this briefly before we came here. Is that everybody loves the Most High until the scriptures come out.
Yeah.
You know, everybody loves the Most High until the scriptures come out. Then they can't deal with that. Oh no, that's not really how it goes. Your interpretation is wrong. This, that, you know. I'm covered by the blood of Jesus and all of that stuff, you know?
Right, and then you could probably jump, like, keep reading down, but I'll just skip to verse 11. So this is Genesis 3 and 11, and it says, so this is the Lord asking, like, calling out for Adam, like, where are you, Adam? And Adam's, like, admitting that he's eaten of the fruit, or that he was naked. And verse 11 says, and he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Like, who told you that? You didn't learn that from me. Who told you that? Right? And he says, hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me the tree, and I did eat. Right?
And that naked means his covering was gone.
Yeah.
You know, his cloak of righteousness had been removed. You know.
Right, and obviously you can keep reading down, but I'll just jump to verse 16 because that's what I wanted to sort of focus on. And it says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Now that was the judgment for Eve doing her thing and following after the serpent, right? She was going to have sorrow when it comes to conception, or you know, that's why you have birth pains, right? And your desire shall be unto your husband, meaning you were going to be in subjection to your husband, and he was going to rule over you.
Yes.
Right? And that's the whole point, right? That we're getting at. Eve, obviously, when she spoke to the serpent, probably one of the doctrines of Eve, or what the serpent told Eve, is that she would be in rulership to her husband, and he would be in subjection to her.
Yeah, because the earth has been given into the hand, you know, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. So when the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, Eve has run straight to the wicked and looked and sought out elevation over the man, you know?
Yeah.
Sought out elevation over the man. Yeah, this is the book of Jeremiah 31 and 22. And it says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord had created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
Happy International Women's Day. Do not talk to men today. Do not look at men today. They will ruin it.
1848, a law was passed where women were finally allowed to keep their own positions, wages, everything when they married a man. It was not taken off them for the first time. 1893, the year that women were finally allowed to vote. But it wasn't until 1920 that the rest of the countries decided to implement the fact that women could have a right to vote and might have a voice to say what happens in their country. 1963, the Equal Pay Bill was passed, where it became illegal for companies to pay women less than men for the exact same skill, expertise, and the amount of work that they were doing, which still to this day is not really working out that well. 1975, states were no longer able to exclude women from participating in juries. Yes, that's right, men were the only ones that were allowed to serve on the jury and decide people's criminal convictions because women weren't allowed to do that.
If the wage gap exists, then why would companies employ men when it would be cheaper to hire women?
Because companies can be sexist, and that's like the point. That's the problem.
Why would companies employ men when it would be cheaper to hire women?
You know, that is a good one. Hold on. damn, they probably wouldn't.
I mean, if women are capable of doing just as good a job and for less money, wouldn't it make sense for a company to hire all women?
I mean, yeah, if women were getting paid less, what is it, 70 cents on the dollar, yeah, companies would, find a good deal in that, yeah.
Would you rather have a high-profile job for no pay or clean sewers for $100,000 a year?
I struggle with the smell of poo. So I think a high-profile job with no pay, because when you think about it, it would come with incentives.
You can pay your mortgage there.
I guess there's pros to both of them, but to give you a flat-out answer, I would prefer to have the high-profile job without pay, because if I was high-profile, I'd market myself to be sponsored by some company and just keep working at it and get money, get paid, do more with that platform I have.
I'm cleaning sewers for $100K, man. Ain't no shame in my game.
I'm cleaning sewers. There's no question about it.
Why?
More money.
Clean the sewers. I'm just going in my head. No, I'm going to clean the sewers for $100,000 a year.
Or clean sewers for $100,000 a year.
Oh my God. I'd rather the first one.
Okay, so wouldn't that explain why you're paid less?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do...
Because I really don't want to do that.
You don't want to do the dangerous, dirty jobs.
No.
So could that possibly be why so many women earn less money than men?
Yep.
So is that based on discrimination or based on choice?
And choices.
Do you believe there is a gender war?
A gender war? Yeah. Absolutely. Feminism is killing this country.
Can you be more specific?
Feminism has taught us to hate men and to fear men because capital profits off of my fear as a woman. If I'm afraid of men, they can make a profit off of that. There's a gender war because men are the underdogs right now. Men are the ones being told you're feared, you're wrong, everything you do is wrong, go make money, don't show emotion, be. Women are making a rise to the top. We've over-feminized so much and included women so much, which is great, but we don't have to tear men down to include women.
So why is there so much talk about male privilege?
Because for a long time there was male privilege, and now the script is flipped. Now women are the ones with privilege, but no one's ready to hear that.
But why are we still talking about male privilege?
Because no one's ready for it. We're not ready to make that change. We're seeing more women in films, more women in power. The amount of jobs that I have seen that say women only is ridiculous. In an effort to hire more women and get them hired and include them, we've excluded men.
When you're told you're not good enough, you tell them, not only am I good enough, I'm more than enough. When they say, send her back home, you tell them, I am home. I am the foundation of what we call home. When they tell you that you're angry or nasty, you tell them that they're mistaken. This is me. This is me being resolute and standing firmly in my truth. And when they say you're not beautiful, you tell them that you are the descendant of royalty, and you are a queen. I would encourage you to take this experience with you as you go about your respective journeys, knowing that we were present for one another tonight.
Yep. You know, and there's that elevation right there. You know, there's that a woman will compass a man. You know, the jobs, the jobs will be quicker given to the Israelite woman than the Israelite man. Custody of the children will be quicker given to her than the Israelite man, no matter what sort of a bug out she is. You know, the riches, the fortunes that you accumulate within this earth will be systematically given to the woman, you know, because you hear of lawsuits where, you know, a woman is getting something stupid like $100,000 a month, you know, or stupid like 10,000 a week, or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, if I could add as well, there was a clip that I see, and I'll add it to this video, right? That there was a woman who went on one date with a man, and the date didn't go the way she planned it, and she tried to sue the man for $10,000 because it was a bad date. And then what made it worse is that she was arguing with the judge about a definition. Like the definition was, I think, something to do with perjury, and she was trying to say that he claimed perjury, and you know, but the judge was trying to say that it wasn't perjury, and she was arguing with the judge.
You know, what is it? Intentional infliction of emotional distress?
Yes.
Is that the claim here?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
That's not something that's really justiciable in district court.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
I said that's not something that's justiciable in district court. That has to be brought in circuit court.
So you said it's not permissible in district court. It has to be taken to circuit court.
That's an equitable action, yes. Mm-hmm. Mr. Jordan, let me just ask you this. Are you planning to represent yourself on this?
To be honest with you, sir, I thought this was just going to be thrown out. We had a date, one date, and nothing else after that. And now I'm being sued for $10,000. I don't really see how this is going to go any further. I think it's a waste of your time.
The problem is this. You know, if you think it should be dismissed, you know, you need to file the appropriate motion. You need to file a motion to ask for that.
In that letter, he lied. And then that's what brought forth the perjury. It was never perjury in the beginning. It was perjury after his response.
Well, you can't say, listen, he has the right to put whatever is in the answer.
I'm not saying he can't, but
you can't add another count because you don't like or you disagree with what is in his answer.
If he responds and his response is a lie, it's perjury, then my documents will prove that he lied in his response.
No. It's his version. First of all, do you understand what perjury is?
Yes, I understand perjury is a lie. I know what perjury means.
Perjury is a statement, a false statement made under oath. So
exactly, and I got documents that prove he was lying.
You don't understand. It's a false statement made under oath. Under oath.
That stated a lie.
When did he testify to something that he lied about? It's a false statement made under oath.
Bottom line is, you said it's a criminal offense, so I will send it to circuit court. Are we done here?
No, you don't understand, ma'am. You don't understand.
Are we done here? Are we done here?
Perjury is a false statement made under
I know
oath.
what perjury means. Are we done here?
No, you don't.
Is it a criminal offense or not?
What statement? I don't see anything in the complaint that says he made some false statement under oath.
Because you don't know what happened. You're on the outside looking in. You don't know anything.
But you're the plaintiff. Wait a minute. You are the plaintiff.
Are we done here?
You have to lay out your allegations properly.
Are we done here?
No, we're not.
Exactly what perjury means.
No, we're
Do
not.
not insult my intelligence.
You have to
do not insult my intelligence.
You have to lay your complaint out. You have to allege this in the complaint. You have not.
Please do not insult my intelligence.
It's not about that. You don't think. I don't think you understand what perjury is. It's a false statement made under oath.
Are we done here? Are we done here?
I
Please
said
do not
no.
insult my
I
intelligence.
said no.
Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not insult my intelligence as if I do not understand what the word perjury means. Do not. If it's a criminal offense, then
I
it's a
don't think
criminal
you do.
offense.
Well, ma'am, it should not have been filed in district court if you want
Are we
intentional
done here?
infliction of emotional distress.
Okay, so that's a criminal offense.
Are you going to dismiss it and refile it?
No,
in
I'm
circuit?
not. No, I'm not going to dismiss it. I will file another case in circuit. But as far as I'm concerned,
You can't
no, it
have
will
two
not be
cases on the
dismissed.
ma'am. You can't have two cases going on the same issue.
Well, I'm not dismissing the case. If you want
Well,
to
I tell
dismiss
you
it,
what.
that's up to you. But I, as a plaintiff, am not dismissing the case.
He has to make a proper motion.
Well, that's on him.
But I can also transfer the venue to circuit.
Yes, that's what I thought, because there were other cases that should have been transferred somewhere else. So that's okay.
Okay, I'm going to do that. Give me the form.
Yep. Get into it.
Ma'am, what about his costs associated with appearing because you filed it in the wrong court?
I need to see because I was not aware, since you said perjury was not on there, I was not aware that a criminal offense for intentional infliction of emotional distress was considered a criminal offense there, that it had to be
I didn't say
brought
that.
forward.
That is not what I said.
Yes,
that is not what I said.
That is what you
said
said.
that, sir, no, I didn't. You
Yes,
said
you
that.
did. You stated
I
that.
said that circuit.
You
I
stated
said
that the criminal. You stated that emotional infliction of emotional distress is a criminal offense, and you stated that perjury is a criminal offense. But you also stated that perjury is not on the document that I placed forth before you. So criminal offense would not.
It's not in the
even be
complaint.
on there.
It's not in the complaint.
I need you to show me. I need you to show me the document which states that intentional infliction of emotional distress is indeed and in fact a criminal offense, because that's the original offense that was placed on there.
I never said that. I never said that.
Yes, you did.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not. Ma'am,
Yes, you did.
Listen. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you. I
I'm
will
not either.
repeat to you what I said.
I'm not either.
I
so
said
that's two
that
charges.
intentional.
So the charges have to,
You need to
as
be
far as I'm
quiet while I'm
concerned, the two
talking.
charges
You
have
need to be quiet.
separated.
Can you mute her, please?
Because
Mute her.
perjury is a
Can you
criminal
please
offense.
mute
It
her?
has to go to circuit court.
That will not make her hear you. Judge.
Intentional
Well,
infliction
she's
of
gotta be
emotional
muted.
distress.
What I said was intentional infliction of emotional distress is something that circuit court has jurisdiction over. I never characterized that as a criminal matter. It is definitely a civil claim, but it is something that can't be done in district court. Now, that's what I said to you. You are of the mistaken belief that circuit court does not hear civil matters, because you said, well, I thought circuit court only did criminal. You are the one who are mistaken about the jurisdiction of circuit court, because that's what you stated on the record. Unmuted.
She's been talking the entire time.
Well, I said I was muted.
Judge, excuse me, you don't understand how this works. Let me explain something to you about Zoom right quick.
Okay.
When I muted her and now I'm asking her to unmute, if she doesn't do something on her end, she's still muted. So right now she's still muted. But I have asked her to unmute. She's not looking at the device that she's holding.
And this is where Eve has got to.
Wow. Can't be told anything. You know, can't be told anything. You know, she's been weaponized so much that she's even, you know, Esau is going to bring those rains in, you know, in these last days. Esau or cut you loose completely and abandon you. You know what I mean? There's going to be a time where that 999 or that 911 or whatever emergency service number you rely on, it's just going to have a blank tone, you know? Just going to have a continuous tone where you can't get through to anybody, you know? Because the reliance upon the system that Eve has built up over the decades has reached a crescendo now, where, you know, it's at its ultimate height, you know, that reliance upon the system, you know. So child support, you know, she knows she can get it. She knows she can get it, and if she doesn't get it, the man will be put into prison or subjected to the harshest of treatments by the centurions, you know? So Eve is really in control. She really feels she's got the finger on the pulse here. But I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah, it's like a double standard. So a woman can delete her child while in her womb, and the man's not supposed to say anything about it. But if the man decides he doesn't want to have a child, she can take him to court, and then he has to pay for that. And if he doesn't pay for that, he then goes to prison, which he loses all his benefits. He loses any sort of income that he is earning. That now is completely out the window. And then he gets out, because he's now got a record. He finds it harder to get a job, which is impacting his life. But the courts will still attempt to take payment from him for that child, right? But then again, a woman can just casually, oh no, you can't tell me what to do. My body, my choice, right? It's a backward society. We live.
I am pro-choice.
Yeah.
If a woman should have the right to opt out of motherhood and make that choice, should a man also have the right to opt out of fatherhood and 18 years of child support?
Not if the baby is coming into the world. Unfortunately, the baby will exist at that point and need to be taken care of.
Why should men be forced to be fathers if women aren't forced to be mothers?
They need to learn to keep it in their pants otherwise, honestly.
Well, is the man solely responsible for getting a woman pregnant, or does it take two people?
It definitely takes two people, but for him to walk out of their life, that's his choice.
Well, for the people who say that the men should have thought of that before they had sex, isn't that the same argument that pro-lifers use against abortion?
Not necessarily. Pro-lifers are doing that because they don't think a life should be taken.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're going to say that a man should keep it in his pants, how is that different than saying a woman should just keep her legs closed?
It's not really different. The difference is the woman chose to be a woman and a mother and have the baby, and the man chose to disappear and maybe pay child support or not.
Well, why are we always talking about the woman's choice, but we never talk about the man's choice?
Women are just more degraded than men are, unfortunately. I literally have men coming up to me telling me they want to spank me and do this and that, and I'm like, dude, this is the first time we're talking. I don't know you.
Well, why are we always talking about the woman's choice, but never the man's choice?
Because it affects the woman's body and it doesn't affect the man's body.
Okay, but doesn't a woman have the choice to opt out of having her body affected?
Yeah, but it doesn't affect a man's body.
Okay, but it does affect a man's future, though.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so what reproductive rights do men have?
They can use protection if they're scared about having a kid. They can use abstinence if they don't want to have a kid.
Okay, but can't women do all the same things as well?
Yeah.
So then why is the man solely responsible for getting a woman pregnant, or does it take two people?
No, it does take two people, but I think ultimately it is up to the woman because it's her body that it affects.
Basically, like if they have their baby, they can neglect them for 7 days, and if the baby dies, then they can't be held criminally liable. What do you think?
Yeah, I think whatever helps women and helps them achieve their dreams and however that needs to happen is definitely acts to help. That is helping all of us.
So I prefer that most women make their decisions at 8 weeks, but I'm also in support of 10 months out of the womb.
So you think babies should be aborted 10 months after they're born?
If the mother wants to, yes.
I think fuck them kids. So if you want to get a late-term abortion, that's up to you. You know, I've had an abortion too, and it was my choice, and I'm happy I had that choice.
I've had an abortion myself.
Would you guys get an abortion again?
Yes.
100%.
100 times. I'd do it multiple times.
until I feel that I'm ready to parent, that's a choice I'll continue to make.
Man. But I got a precept here.
One second. That's why you shouldn't be laying down with these whores willy-nilly. You know what I mean? If you're laying down with these whores willy-nilly and they become pregnant, really and truly the righteous construct is that you have to you can't really terminate that child. You know what I mean? But that's why it says it is better, you know, let them who have no woman, let them who are not married stay not married, you know. But those who are married stay married. You know, this is not the time to be looking for these women. These women are disease traps walking around here now, you know, with demons on them, with complete demons on them. You know, they've spirits have passed from man to man to man to man. They got bodies on them, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. So with I mean, like, I will say that some brothers out there, they can be beguiled by women, right? And some women can play the role and act like the submissive wife and then just switch it up, because like my brother said, they got demons on them, right? But a righteous man of the Lord who follows after the Lord will look for a specific quality in a woman.
What does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
You know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like, before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. And you know, when I talk to my girlfriends about it, they're always like, oh, how you guys doing? And I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten. But I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. And I've been known to love people back to health. And sometimes it's very draining, but my love is my superpower. And I used to hate that about myself. But now it's like, I'm just embracing it. Like, that's who I am. Like, if I love you, I can heal you.
It's your joy.
It is my joy. You know, I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest, you know? So know what that means. And that works for us because he wants what I have to offer.
A righteous woman. Right, a Proverbs 31 woman, you know, but the women of today, they don't have that quality. I mean, I ain't gonna say all women. Let me take that back, because there are righteous women out there, right? And I'm not talking to you when I say that, but the majority of the women that are out here just living their best life, they don't have those qualities instilled by the Lord. Like the scriptures are an instruction manual, right? They teach us what to eat, what not to eat. They teach us how to act, how to behave, you know, like a morality standpoint. But if you ain't following after the scriptures, then you're just gonna lean on your own understanding, and that's where your error. But this is a precept, right? Because it was written in the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that our women were gonna be against us, and the men against the women, right? So this is I'm going to start at Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 54. It says, so the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. Damn! And towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Ms. Anderson.
Yes, Your Honor.
You filed this case before the court.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's going on?
I am a full-time mom, and I also work as well full-time as a hairstylist. And I had one child with this man right here, and he is intentionally not trying to work to avoid paying me child support, and he's not helping with our child.
He's not helping doing anything?
Nothing, ma'am.
He's not giving you any money?
No, ma'am.
Is he paying for lunches?
No, ma'am.
Nothing.
I can barely get him to call and talk to his son.
Is there anything else you want me to know before I move to him?
No, ma'am.
Sir,
Yes, Judge.
is there a reason you're not supporting your child?
Well, from what the attitude that she has today, I'm lost. First off, I do everything that I can for the kids.
Okay, when you say you do everything, she's saying you do not do anything. So what is everything that you're doing?
Well, when she asked me to pick them up, I pick them up.
Okay,
I try to keep a job.
Let me ask a better question. What are you doing financially to provide for this child?
Oh, well, I don't have a job.
That wasn't my question. What are you doing financially to help support this child?
Well, I guess nothing.
Your Honor.
You guess nothing. Yes, ma'am.
He did have a job at the post office, but once they took out child support, he quit.
And we do see that a lot in the Israelite communities, single mother households, right? The men leaving their children. But that's the curse on our people, right? And I'm gonna jump down to verse 56. And it says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter.
Like, this is terrible. This is really terrible. Regardless of what goes on in your relationship, the child should not have to be the one to pay and suffer the consequences. Ever. Like, now look, your child is in the middle of the street. What does that do? That's sickening.
Coody celebrates her 18th birthday in London, telling friends her daughter Asiya is being looked after by family. Showing no responsibility for her 20-month-old daughter, the harrowing reality for this little girl was 6 days of suffering. No food, no water, no strength to even cry.
We were interviewing her in the police station. She never once told us the truth, and so she was never willing to accept responsibility for anything. She made up a web of lies for the police, as she had done with her friends and her family, to make sure that she wasn't caught and that the fact that her child was home alone was undetected.
On the evening of the 5th of December 2019, Coody is seen in this CCTV leaving her flat. She travels from Brighton Station to London, where she celebrates her birthday at clubs and a festival until the 9th. She is then driven more than 150 miles away from her home to the West Midlands. At a McDonald's in Coventry, Coody's bank card is used, as well as at a pizza restaurant in Solihull. Coody eventually arrives back in Brighton on the 11th of December. This footage shows her going into her flat. 3 hours later, she calls 999 in a distressed state, telling the operator, "Help, my baby is not waking up."
Right? So it's vice versa. So the men are gonna hate the women and leave them, and we see that, and a lot of women see that, right? But then you're gonna have the vice versa side of that, where the women hate the husband and hate the daughters or the children. The children in general, right? But the difference is men can be held accountable for that. But if you mention to a woman that, you know, these things, you're seen as a misogynist, like a woman hater, right? And that's what men are getting sick of these days. Now you think a man of the Lord, right, will sit there and we understand, like, you know, we're not to, if we don't have a wife, then it's not the time to be seeking after one, right? But if you do have a wife, then you provide for her to the best of your abilities, right? And it's just like, it's just gotten to a point now where men are just sick and tired of you know, having the double standard against them, and that's what's building up. Women will sit there and say, I'm independent, and if a man did anything, I'd attack him and I'd do all this and do all that, right? But as soon as the man shows his true strength, his true potential, the woman's on the phone to the law, ESAW, 999, 911, whichever, right? Which a toxic masculine man comes out to defend you. You know what I mean? Now, what if you dial 999, 911, whatever, and a man comes out and he's against you? you have no power. And you're vulnerable. And that's what we're trying to say, is that in these times that we're coming into, you women are going to be humble. And it's all because of the way your pride, you know, how proud you are. You're going to be humble.
Yeah, no more screaming in a man's face.
Yeah.
No more hitting him. No more getting other men to actually kill him. Because that happens a lot too, you know? Getting other men to actually harm a guy who you thought has slighted, you know? Next thing, a lot of these killings happen because of these women. You know, a lot of killings in the club, on the block, they all happen because of these women, you know?
Yeah.
And these women are quite happy with that murder and death. They're quite happy with that, you know? A lot of this drug selling takes place for these simps to have something to show for these women, because these women have gone to the pits of depravity now, you know? And materialism runs the day, you know? And then Esau exalts the worst of the worst. You know, the worst of the worst. He's actually had it in a place now where a whore has more, you know, a whore has more value than a virtuous woman.
Women are the prize. That's what the people get fucked up.
Well, wait,
Women are the prize.
hold on. If high value men are rare, why wouldn't the high value man be the prize?
They're not the prize, because what was there?
There's
prize
less of
be
them
when
to
it
go
comes
around.
with a man?
They're more rare.
Yeah, where are they? I've been searching.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That would make them a prize. A
They're
diamond
not
is
a prize.
a diamond is a prize because it's rare.
No, the women are the prize because women, they got a pussy. You know what I mean? Pussy makes the world go around. A man got a dick.
So a woman. So wait.
Pussy makes the whole entire world go round.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A whore like a Nicki Minaj, friggin' Cardi B, you know, and it's done this mostly with the Israelite woman. A Cardi B, what's another one of these whores, man?
Beyonce.
Yeah, Beyonce, Rihanna, you know, and they are exalted to such a high peak that, you know, and it seems obtainable to the woman who actually look upon the whoredom which they portray, and feel that they can obtain it too, you know, and by and large they do obtain it to greater and lesser degrees, you know what I mean. But Esau has set the benchmark with these whores, you know what I mean. And everything woman related is just whoredom. Kardashians, you know, the music industry, friggin' the only way is Essex, or you know, Geordie Shore, friggin' you name it. And America has got countless of those too, and the whole of Europe, you know what I mean, where a woman is more valued in her lowest state than she is, you know. I mean, really and truly, if you had to resort to whoredom in the ancient times, you were really down on your luck, you know. You were really down on your luck, and you existed on the fringes of society. You didn't exist as, you know, there were a few exceptions to the rule, like Jezebel and the Queen Herod's wife, and, you know, people like that. So I suppose it's always been there. There's nothing new under the sun. But in our time, it is greatly intensified, concentrated throughout the world as well. You know, and with this internet, you can really and this mass media, you can really see it throughout the world. And Babylon the Great obviously sets the stage for all of it with its abundance of sorceries. You know, that's really where we at today, where a whore is exalted way over a virtuous woman. You know, and to a point where nobody would know what a virtuous woman was. I mean, you know, majority of the house of Israel, you know, the men of the Lord would understand it because they read the scriptures. And you know, people who have done a bit of years have seen this earth wax worse and worse, you know.
And that's under the vibration of women who are ideally in control at the moment, because you, as a man, you can't speak out about things that you know you find are not becoming of a woman. You know what I mean? If you was to say something to a woman nowadays, you get cancelled, right? But it's like this place is just on a bad vibration under Eve, or shall I say, not even just Eve, like women in general.
Yeah, but Eve sets the trend.
Yeah,
You know?
that's right, because they follow after Eve. They use Eve, like during the feminist movement, they used Eve to get their ruling, because they needed Eve's vote. Eve is, and when I say Eve, I'm talking about the Israelite woman, mainly the Judite woman, right, the so-called black woman, because she's got that fiery spirit, you know. They needed that, you know. So the government put Eve above the man, and that's going back from slavery, you know. They put Eve above the man, and had it to where she didn't need the man, and as long as they had the man out of the house, Eve would reap all the benefits. And instead of Eve coming back to the man, she just kept it going, you know. And then throughout the ages, or throughout the decades, she just continued to get worse and worse. And it's like now it's just getting to the point where it's just like, you know, a lot of women are complaining that they can't find love.
To be honest, in my 20s, what I was doing was just dating for fun. Dating, I'm going to be really blunt, dating like, you know, rappers, athletes. And by time I was ready to sit down, I was already in my 30s, and I'm like, oh shit, like I've done give away my most precious years to just partying and being on a scene. And now that I'm in my 30s, I'm trying to date, and I really don't know what I like.
They go on dates, and dates are horrible. And it's like, well, why would a man want to be with you and the way you act? Like Kevin Samuels, he used to try and tell you like that you need to rein it in a bit. But what did you do? You celebrated when he died. Yeah. You were throwing parties and having all kinds of, you know, like you know what I mean, groupings together to laugh at the man's downfall. Like, that's what you get. That's like, well, okay. Like, a lot of men looked up to Kevin Samuels because he helped them.
Tommy gets cancelled regular.
Yeah, Tommy Sotomayor is another example. He calls you out on your bullshit, right? But all you want to do is just cancel. Like that's what it's become. They've become a cancel culture. You can't speak the truth because it offends people, right? But like I say, you take the sweet with the bitter, or the bitter with the sweet, right? So the bitter for you women is judgment. And I've got a precept here, and this is in the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 10, right? And this is what's going to happen to you women, right? Because you're so proud, and you can't be told nothing. You can't be told shit. So, hey, this is for you. This is Micah 7 and 10. It says, "Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power?" Because we've been saying like these things are coming, and a lot of women just scoff. They jump on the comment boards with their you know, their chat. Oh, you keep saying this stuff is gonna happen, it doesn't happen. All right, wait for it, right? And it says, "Mine eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets." The mire of the streets, the shit in the streets. You're gonna be worth less than shit, basically.
Yeah. I mean, basically the wool will be taken off the people's eyes. You know?
And you can see that happening now. Like, you go on TikTok, you just go to the manosphere. Look, read the comments.
When women lose sexual leverage, guess what? They have no power, because that's their only fucking power. That's the only thing that they use to manipulate men. And when you take that away from them, they're powerless against you. That's why society does everything in its power, guys, to not let you know your worth. They do everything in their power to put women on pedestals. They do everything in their power to make men come off as second-class citizens, and she's entitled to your time and attention, and you need to be a gentleman, all that shit. Fuck that. We live in 2021. Chivalry is dead, and women killed it. You guys are no longer going to go into this gender war with a fucking butter knife. With us, We're going to arm you guys with bazookas so that you guys could play fair with the women that are in there with rocket launchers as well.
Yep.
Because that's the truth, man. Y'all got to know this is the world that we live in, and times have fucking changed. You can't be a traditional man in a world where women are no longer traditionally women. You got to play by their rules. You got to treat them as expendable commodities, just like they treat us like expendable commodities. Period.
Right? She belongs to the streets.
She belongs to the streets.
That's it. That's a good one, man. You know what I mean?
Right, they do. They belong to the streets. Yeah, of course they belong to the streets.
Yeah.
Man. I'm so sick of these dirtbag women. You know, from your twerking nasty whore to your disgruntled and bitter church woman. You know, who and all of them have a cause against the man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's gonna get so bad out here for you women, though, man. Like the scripture here in Isaiah, right? Isaiah chapter 4, right? Will sort of give you an example of how bad it will get, right? Because you women are proud now, right? You act like, you know, if a man says he wants more than one wife, you know, you frown against that. You're absolutely 100% against it, right? But Isaiah 4:1, which is future prophecy, says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Right? So when you're going through hell, going through shit, right, you're gonna wonder why 7 women are gonna cling to one man. Right? What? You know, it's gonna get that bad. Because you know, and it's not just talking about any man out there, it's talking about men of the Lord. Because you're going to see how much the Lord is looking out for his servants, you know, his prophets, his elect. You're going to see how much he's looking out for them, and everybody else is going to be struggling, and you women are going to be going through some hell, so much so that you know, hey, sharing a man ain't going to be nothing to you. That's nothing. Yeah, I'll share you 7 women, and 7 is just a complete number, right? So 7 could mean little 7 women, could mean 2 women, it could mean 1,000 women, right? But it's a complete number, right? And that's what you women are going to go through. It's going to get so bad out here for you, right? But obviously, the more we warn you of these things, and the more you buck up against it, hey, you know, you've been warned. But you're a lot of you are going to get rejected in that day because, you know, because of the lifestyle you lead now. You think a man of the Lord is going to want you if you got like 200 bodies on you? If you belong to the streets, you know, you go to a part, you go to these secret underground parties, and you just get ran through, and you do like 200 men in one night. That's what a lot of these women are doing out here.
Go to Dubai and let them Ishmaelites shit all over you.
Yeah,
piss on you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly that. You think a man of the Lord? Hey, I want my wife, you know, a known woman that went to Dubai and let them man take a dump on her, like. Yeah, I'm gonna claim that.
Yeah, probably
Come on, man. Use
engage
your
in
mind.
bestiality over there and all of that stuff.
All kinds of
you know,
weirdo shit, man. Like, you think I'm gonna accept that? Like, not saying that I'm a man, like one of the elect, Yahawaratazah, that I be part of the elect, but saying if I was to be of that number, if I was worthy enough, right? The Lord see me worthy enough. Believe me, I wouldn't choose any of you women. You'd be the least. I'd be looking for a righteous woman, right? Humble. You know, those are the women that I would be seeking for, right? Ain't no simping over here, man. Like, just because you got a pretty face don't mean you're getting selected.
Yeah, laying down with the Moabite for weave.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Going to the Arab man for a sandwich or something, man. You know what I mean? Like what do you call it? The bodegas.
Yeah. Virtue is like a long forgotten thing within the earth.
Yeah. So this is the book of Isaiah. Still in the book of Isaiah, future prophecy. This is Isaiah 65, and I'm starting 12. It says, "Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not." And that's referring to people in general, right? But you can see from Eve's standpoint, Eve trying to get a bit of money, trying to stack that bread, chase that paper, be a boss bitch. Yeah, it says you lot are going to be led down, shall bow down to the slaughter. It says, verse 13, and this is the point. It says, therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Right? So the men of the Lord, right, like it says in the scriptures, shall be more precious than fine gold, roughly paraphrasing. But the men of the Lord are going to be looked after in that day. And that's why you women are going to flock to the men. Because you want to get that comfort. Because women in their natural state don't like to be uncomfortable. Right? So you being out here in dire straits, haven't had a shower in weeks, or months, haven't eaten anything, and you see a man of the Lord looking all fresh, got food, got shelter, got protection, you do anything. It'd be like he was a millionaire. You know what I mean? Yeah. You be doing anything you can to get with that man, and that's if he wanted to choose you or not.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say in the natural state a woman wants comfort, and a man provides that comfort. But now what you got today, you got a woman working 2-3 jobs, trying to make ends meet, trying to be mommy and daddy in the house, you know what I mean? Doing all these sorts of things, and then do it till she get an illness, till she gets high blood pressure, meals on the go, eating on the go, eating fast food because she ain't got time to cook, you know what I mean? So, then besides the discomfort of keeping 3 jobs so she can get that paper, now she's got complications internally. Enough of these women have internal complications, high blood pressure, friggin' heart disease, all these things, cystitis, whatever, but they got them in abundance, and that's all because they haven't, they've tried to buck up against the natural order of things, the actual order of what the Most High set aside for mankind, Yeah, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and 10. And it says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband that safely trusts in her. And that's a big thing. The heart of a husband that safely trusts in her. These new chicks out here, you know what I mean? The heart of a man don't trust in her. Don't trust in her. Girls' holiday, I beat her. You know what I mean? What do you think is happening there? It's a smash fest. You know what I mean? Girls' night out. All types of frolicking in the parking lot. She getting driven back by different dudes. You know what I mean? You going to work, she's getting smashed in the house. It's that trust. That trust is all but gone. Yeah. And it says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband that safely trusts in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil. Yeah, she won't put him on child support. She'll help to build him up. Okay? She won't kill his baby in the womb. All right? She won't take away his manhood with ridiculing words every opportunity she can in public. You know what I mean?
Lay with his best friend.
Won't lay with his. Oh man! Hey, we can go on and on. We can go on and on. She won't exalt her position in the workplace over him. and make him feel like a dog. She won't turn his children against him. You understand? Yeah. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. Worketh willingly with her hands, man. She'll tidy up the house. She'll have food cooked for you. She will bathe the children and nurture them, the ones that need nurture. If you have the land, she will make a little garden outside. You know, these are the things of a virtuous woman.
That's righteous.
You know? She will teach the kids of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashah. You know? She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. You know, those skills like wool and flax, them crocheting skills, them sewing skills where a woman is on a sewing machine and sewing and making a garment for her husband. Those things are gone out of this earth. You know what I mean? For the majority of these women. Now you're looking at a woman who actually wants to break you. You know? Actually wants to break you. Demand that Louis Vuitton. Demand those Jimmy Choo shoes. You know what I mean? Where she can make she can bring forth nothing with her hand. She can bring forth nothing to actually benefit. But she wants to break your pocket with with the folly of this world.
Like, you really just should have paid for all of our food.
For one, I'm not paying for everybody's food. It's your birthday, cool, but I'm not doing that. It's 18.
Why don't you gotta pay for all y'all food though?
You brought 18 friends.
You know, and there that goes back to that. You know, the eyes. She looked and it was nice to her. You know what I mean? You know, so now you are done out here. You know, the women are talking about if you can't buy them a Birkin bag, you know, then you better not. You out the game already. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? This is choosing dirt bags, thinking they're choosing something good, choosing a killer, choosing Barabbas over the righteous man. You know, not that a righteous man will want to get with most of these women anyway, but you know, choosing, oh man, the crustacean of society. You know what I mean? Yeah. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night. Yeah, imagine working in the fields and your woman has cooked your food and comes and brings it to where you're at and presents it with a napkin on the floor, a tablecloth on the ground, you know, presents it all well, you know? Hey man, you know, blessed is that woman. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also when it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. You know, coming to prepare food. Children have got food to start the day from the time they wake up. The husband is waking to a breakfast, you know? Them type of things. Them type of things. She considereth the field and buyeth it. You know, doing measures to enhance her family. You know what I mean? With the fruit of her hand, she planted the vineyard. You know? And that could be the things flourishing within her hand that she does. And what does that could be like money accumulating and using that to benefit her family, you know, and carry on, even if it's to make the work of the man a bit lighter, you know. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good. Why does she know her merchandise is good? Because she puts the effort into it, you know? And she knows her merchandise is good. And really and truly, the merchandise, you know, part of the merchandise of a woman is the obvious. You know what I mean? She knows that she's good. And good for who? Her husband. You know what I mean? The scriptures tell you of women that are being veiled within the scriptures. You know? The scriptures tell you of women that are covered up. Like Isaac's, you know, like Rebecca came and she quickly put a veil on to go and see Isaac. You know what I mean? And guaranteed her merchandise was good. You know? Her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hand to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor, yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. These are kind-hearted women. These are women that are good, man. You know, that do the things that are pleasing unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. You know? She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates. Why? Because she lifts him up. When he sitteth among the elders of the land, she maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing. Strength and honor are her clothing. She's honorable. You know what I mean? And she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, not WAP. You know, not WAP, like them whores are opening their mouth and declaring. You know what I mean? Not who run the world? Girls. Who run the world? Not that shit. She opened her mouth with wisdom. And what is it? Godly wisdom. You understand? Yeah. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Yo, man, a lot of these women are bone idle. They are idle to the point where they cannot even function properly anymore. You understand? To the point where you know, even if they had recipes from their, you know, passed on from grandmother to mother and whatnot, these women of this generation, I can guarantee, have lost all those recipes. All the virtuous things have gone out of recollection. You know what I mean? All the virtuous things have ceased among these whores. Yeah. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. Yeah, because she does things that are worthy of praise, you know. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. You know what I mean? Because if you have a beautiful woman who can't do nothing in the house, at the end of the day, you're just gonna have an old woman who can't do nothing in the house. You know what I mean? and who has no righteousness to her. You know? Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. I read that again. A woman who feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Yeah, a virtuous woman will speak for herself. You know, her works will speak for her. The way she carries herself will speak for her. You know, the humbleness, the shamefacedness, you know, the shyness of her character, you know, not the loud, brash, egotistical harlots that we find today. And that's all you really find now. I mean, there are a few exceptions, okay? But by and large, that is what you find today. Right.
That's right, man. You know, so a lot of you women out there, you know, you just need to get back in your right mind. You know, I mean, you're going to anyway, like whether you like it or not. But what you want to do is you want to try and secure as much as you can that virtue, so that maybe a man of the Lord will pick you. You know what I mean? While you still have the opportunity. I mean, it's probably too late by now, you know, because I mean things are just heating up. You can see in the news how bad things are getting. And like I was saying earlier, you know, Russia and these other nations have come up with their own global reserve currency. So the currency that we know at the moment, the dollar, is going down in value. It's going to be worth nothing. When the stock market crashes because of you know, the fact that money is worthless, it's going to be like Venezuela. You can already see that the UK, you know, they're predicting the UK is going to be in recession by Christmas, or by October, around that time, the end of the year, should I say. The end of the year, UK is going to be in recession. I mean, we already knew it was coming anyway. Ain't like it's news to anybody, but you know, you're gonna see how tight things are gonna get. You know, you see the energy bills going through the roof. A lot of you women are struggling as it is. You know, single mothers and all that. You're going to the food banks, you know, and soon everybody's gonna be going to the food banks. How much food do you think they got? Ain't gonna be no food. And then it's gonna be who gets what. You know, the survival of the fittest, basically. And you know, I'm just gonna say it. You know, you can call me a misogynist if you want, but you women ain't stronger than men.
Yeah.
You women ain't stronger than men.
Contrary to popular modern belief,
Right.
you know.
Well, it's a fact. It's not that I'm saying that women ain't got brains. They ain't got, you know, because there are a lot of smart women out there.
Catwoman will be tied up in the cellar.
But you see the arguments, right? You know, just to give you an example, you got the transgenders that are joining these women's sports, and in the males-dominated sports, they're mid. You know, they're not even in the competing range of the top elite of men, right? But then they're going over to the women's circuit, and the top elite of women, these average mid men, are destroying you.
Greatest female fighter versus amateur fighter. Let's start with one of the greatest fights of all time. This is Lucia Riker, known as Lady Tyson among the fans. She's fought in 54 professional matches and lost none of them. She's known as the strongest lady of all time. So what would happen if we put her against a male fighter? This is Somchai Jiti, a local amateur fighter who is put against the greatest female fighter. The fight lasted for 2 rounds. In the fight, you could see that the male was not professional at techniques. He was fighting just like an amateur would, but he was faster and more powerful. He gave her a really hard time. In the second round, Lucia was a dominating figure, but as they moved to the corner, the male fighter delivered the last 3 jabs and put her to the canvas. It was one of the greatest fights of all time. We deeply respect Lucia Riker for her brave move. This fight proved that male versus female isn't a fight that should be sanctioned. But hey, some ladies think they're greater than men when it comes to masculinity. Now let's jump into another fight, shall we?
Martin Rooney takes it for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Oh, I thought for a moment it was dropped. Just a check from Martin Rooney that might have cost fractions as Bahrain come past, and Abbas finished very, very well yesterday. And the chase is on up front though, because Michael Cherry is closing in and just speeding past Justina Svetiavsetic, who can't panic here, and she knew this was going to happen here, but she's chasing a medal and she's trying to hold up Javon Francis of Jamaica. Great Britain and Northern Ireland in fifth at the moment, just behind Bahrain with a very impressive Abbas on the anchor leg. Martin Rooney trying to close, but the Bahraini athlete is strong, and he in turn is closing on Francis, and Francis now passes Justina Svetiavsetic, but Martin Rooney trying to get their United States way out in front. They take it, new world record, sub 3:10. Jamaica holds on, Bahrain in third, Martin Rooney fourth, and Paul in fifth.
That swimmer, that transgender swimmer that's just smashing all the records.
Now, transgender swimmer Leah Thomas has just beaten 2 US records at her latest competition. Last week, the 22-year-old smashed the women's 1,650-yard freestyle record by finishing 38 seconds ahead of her teammate Anna Sophia at the Zippy International event in Ohio. She also finished the 500-yard freestyle 14 seconds ahead of her competitors, whilst breaking yet another US record with a time of 4 minutes 34 seconds and 0.6 milliseconds. For 3 years, Leah Thomas used to compete for the men's team prior to joining the women's squad. So the question is this fair?
You know? And that's because of his genetics, his masculine strength, you know? And then there's other clips as well that I could show you that show a woman trying to fight men and the man being outnumbered, like having multiple women, right, trying to fight one man and the man just dominating, right?
This dude invited listeners, women only, to show up at a boxing ring and fight him for free concert tickets. And he promised to whip their butts. How sleazy is this dude? Battering women. And if that ain't bad enough, he's even a cheap shot artist, using headbutts and body slams to beat him up. This guy's such a dirtbag, he wails on women even after they're knocked down. This woman's just trying to cover up and wants the fight stopped. But Tough Guy just keeps pounding away on her until she's bloody and collapses. Wow, radio dude, you must be feeling real good about yourself right about now. There's a very special place in hell for dudes like you.
And that's why I say it's not on a masculine thing or a misogynistic thing. It's just a fact, you know. If there's no food around and you got these big, strong, muscle-bound men who love eating, believe me, you don't stand a chance.
Would even eat you.
Yeah, exactly. Tear you up. But it says here, because I know a lot of women like to say, because you brought out a point earlier where you were saying that a lot of these women, you know, they complain about the men. And like there's no good men out here, right? But they go after the drug dealers, they go after the friggin' the gangsters, the rough dudes, you know what I mean? And that's the type of men they're attracted to, and then they wonder why these men treat them like shit. But then you've got a bigger portion of men, like Kevin Samuels used to bring out, they call them average men, right? A bigger portion of those men that are single and childless, right? Who have a steady income because they have a 9-to-5 job, but you women ain't interested, right? And this is what the scriptures say, right? This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 26. I'm gonna start at verse 22. It says, "An harlot shall be accounted as spittle." That's what you're gonna be accounted as, a harlot.
I have it here.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? And it says, "But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband."
Yeah.
Okay? So that's a virtuous woman, right? And it says, "A wicked woman is given as a portion unto a wicked man."
That's
okay?
right. That's
but
right.
but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
That's right.
And how are you a godly woman? By, like my brother brought out in Proverbs 31. That's the perfect. That's the blueprint. That's the cheat sheet right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it gives some more accounts in the same chapter of Ecclesiasticus.
Yeah. You wanna bring it out?
Yeah. Yeah. And it says, chapter Ecclesiasticus 26 and 13, and it says, the grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. You know, a chaste woman. You know what I mean? A silent. That's so important. A silent.
Well,
and
that's what Kevin Samuels used to say, man. Quiet.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A mind well instructed. The teaching from mother to daughter. You know what I mean? These are the things that bear, that bear tenfold when it comes to these women. It pays dividends, you know. And another thing as well, you must always remember that the woman was given as a gift to the man. You know what I mean? She weren't given as a burdensome embarrassment to him. She was given by the Most High as a gift to him. She's just not in her right state at the moment. You understand? A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. You see, these are things that are great assets to the man. Who is this talking? Who is this talking in regard to? When it talks about the woman, it's talking in regard to the man. You understand? His possession, his prize. You know what I mean? Part of him. What did Adam say? Flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone. Part of him who he has joined to. You know? Now people are joining themselves to witches. You know? Witches who sacrifice children at the drop of a hat. Lay down with one guy, get pregnant, sacrifice the child. Lay down with another one, get pregnant, kill the child, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. You know? Scheme on a dude, get him killed. You know? A shamefaced, as you say, smash his best friend. Smash other guys in the house while he's at work. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. As the sun, when it ariseth in the high heaven, so is the beauty. As the sun, when it ariseth in the high heaven. Have you seen a sunrise? You know, the beauty of a sunrise and a sunset. You know, that's what it's describing here. So is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house. Because what happens when a wife orders the house? You know, the children are in order. And that order continues throughout the generations. Now in a wicked society, what you get is that wickedness abounds and continues throughout the generations. You understand? Yeah. As the clear light is upon the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of the face in ripe age. And you know, this is a thing as well. When you go back, not even too far, people were staying together. You know, marriage meant forever. You know, marriage meant something. You know, the women were in order. You know. As the golden pillars are upon the sockets of silver, so are the fair feet of a constant heart.
I'll bring out this precept. I should have brought it out earlier, but it's in the same chapter, the Ecclesiasticus 26 and 25. It says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. But she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord.
Yeah, and what is a female dog?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, and
Tupac,
they call themselves that. I'm a bad bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They call themselves that, a shameless woman.
Tupac come out with that song. You wonder why they call you bitch.
You
That's
wonder why. But now they've embraced that. They love it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it. I'm a boss bitch.
A boss bitch, a bad bitch. Oh man, really? A bad bitch. Double bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Michael Jackson bad.
Verse 7 of the same chapter, you know? And it says, I'll read verse 3 first and then jump to 7. And it says, a good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord. Have we read that?
I don't think so.
Jump down to 7 and it says, an evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that has hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. I don't know if you've ever seen a scorpion. Have you seen how quick a scorpion strikes? You know, before you can even think, a scorpion has struck. You know? Leave you messed up. That's these whores. That's these whores.
Yeah, the brothers back in the early 90s, Belle Biv DeVoe. That girl is poison.
Poison, yeah.
Yeah.
Scorpion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And continues, it says, a drunk woman and a gather abroad causeth great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. And she will not cover her own shame. A drunk woman and a gather abroad. How many times have you seen these women in the clubs? In the clubs and pubs, if you live in the UK. In the clubs and pubs. How many times have you seen these women? Finished. Done out. Drinking to oblivion. Or drinking or drinking till the only switch they have is the switch to misbehave. You know what I mean?
When I was before I come in the truth, I used to work in a pub, and I used to see these girls walk in, right, dressed to the best outfits, best dresses. By the end of the night, it's like that ain't even the same person. Like it was unreal.
Yeah.
I witnessed that every weekend when I was at work.
Yeah. And all of them are taking rod. You know?
Yeah.
Probably
don't even realize they're doing it either. Some of the states, some of them getting
different guys.
Just waking up in some random dude's bed that they didn't even realize they left with, you know?
Yeah.
Or even worse, you know? The SA, I won't say the word, but you put the two abbreviations together, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I say, man, you women, like, is one thing. I mean, we could keep going on all day about, you women, right? Or you wicked women, should I say. But ideally, what we want to do is just sort of tell you about yourselves. Like, I guess not even tell you. Basically, what we want to do is just sort of shed some light on the things that are coming in this world, and just letting you women know that if you're going to continue in your pride and your wickedness, doing all kinds of abominable things, then you're going to get judged for it, and your judgment's going to come heavy.
Yeah, and you must remember it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for a man of righteousness because his hands are tied at this time. In Esau's kingdom, they've really taken the reins of your family out of your hands. That's why it's sorrowful. You've got that sorrow in your heart that you can't you can't have your family as you wanted exactly. You know what I mean? I'll just read the last scripture to reiterate that. Verse 10, and it says, I read from 9. It says, the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. These women are haughty, man. They're proud as anything. You know, and as for those eyelids, you know how much money they spend on that makeup industry?
Yeah, it don't even look nice, man.
Yeah.
Some like ladies with their eyelashes, man. They're like proper weird looking, man.
Yeah, it messes up their faces, man. And it says, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Now you see, when you know the right thing and you can't enforce the right thing within your own family, because what do we have? What do we have in our society? That's when you have to really call on Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shem. Because what do we have in our society? We've got something called women's liberation. And the Lord says, lest she abuse herself with overmuch liberty. You know what I mean? Now it's as much liberty as she wants. As much liberty as she can get, and even more than you at this time, you know? But as the scripture says, this is not our rest, you know? It says that we have to endure. So we have to endure. Yeah. You know? At the same time, keep your mind. At the same time, keep your mind. Keep your righteousness. You know? Exercise the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. That's what you can do in this season, you know. This thing is almost done. You know, a righteous kingdom is gonna be established after this. You know, where a woman will be in order. The Most High don't need these that are here now. He can create new women for the men, for his elect.
It's like you were bringing out earlier, how get rid of the nation, and the nation will come back through the loins of Moses.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
all it takes is a few Israelite men, you know, to bring the nation back.
So that shows the Most High said that He would bring the nation back through one man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Through one man. I mean, you know, to tell you the truth, guys don't even want to deal with the Israelite woman like that, on that level. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Because it's complete destruction when you deal with her like that. You know, because she has forsaken the things of the Heavenly Father. She has forsaken the things that proceed unto virtue. And you know, and through the spirit of the man looking at these things, he actually knows that, hey, this ain't how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be different than this. You know what I mean? But because people are incessantly wicked in their ways, they've continued on this path where, you know, this worship of woman, this exaltation of the wickedest things in the earth, keep on raising themselves in a society as wicked as this one. You dig? And that's what happens. I mean, you've but really and truly, even worldly guys ain't happy with these women, man.
Alright, well, you ain't got to me again. I'm just letting you
Nigga,
know.
just get me there.
Alright, whatever.
The fuck?
Hey, y'all about to drop her ass off.
Yeah,
dog.
drop me off, nigga.
Y'all ever see her out? Don't fly her out.
Drop me off, nigga. Don't worry about it.
Man,
Don't worry about it.
You dumb. Don't care. You dumb. You getting dropped off.
I don't care, nigga.
Watch out.
The fuck?
That shit kind of. I'm just saying that shit.
No,
kinda
you're
lame.
lame.
No, I'm saying
You're
what you
really
did
lame.
was lame. No, I'm saying what you did was lame.
What was lame?
What you did
Because
was
I don't
lame.
want to give. Because I don't want to give up my coochie to
We
you.
on the phone facing
Nigga, you're weird.
Nigga,
you're weird.
I flew you out.
I don't
paid for
give
your
a fuck,
ticket.
nigga. I could have paid for my own
gotta pay
shit,
for
and
your
I
food.
still would not have gave you no coochie.
I gotta pay
So
for
what are
your
you
food.
talking about?
Whatever.
Nigga,
Y'all see how this
no,
go?
nigga, you
Y'all see how
lame
these
as
girls
fuck.
is?
No, you lame as
I
fuck.
fly her out, pay for her food. She want to take a shower, walk around in my room with a towel on. But I can't get the cheeks though. I can't get the cheeks though.
You
Man,
thirsty,
I'ma fuck your
nigga.
ass
You
up.
a thirsty nigga.
Right here, Spirit Airlines.
Get me the
right?
fuck
Pay
outta
for your
here.
little ticket at Spirit Airlines.
What you mean?
Your ass here.
What you mean pay for my little ticket at?
I paid for your ticket to get here. Who else paid for your ticket to get? I paid for it.
Nigga, whatever. Just get me out this fucking car. Cause you're lame as fuck.
Whatever. About to get out of my shit.
Before you fucking crash and burn us. Get me the fuck out of here.
You know, these women have insatiable appetites like demons. You know? Like imagine the demon of gluttony. It'll make you eat and eat and eat till it takes you out the game. You know what I mean? Like these demons of everything. Their appetites are insatiable. You know what I mean? These women will eat up they will eat up your mental state, and they will draw that energy like a sieve, like a pump, you know, like a vacuum. Draw it out of you, you know, till they got your soul in a bottle. Metaphorically speaking, before anyone gets simple, you know? Yeah. And that's what's really happened in our time. We are living in the last days. You know, a lot of these women are demons walking upon the earth. A lot of these dudes too. You know? We know that. We gotta live among it for a little while. A little longer. What are you gonna do? Let the Most High's will be done.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think the point's been made. Obviously, we could keep going, but I think we just brought out what we wanted to bring out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So on that note, we're going to close out. We're going to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Regard with us. Shalom.
Shalom.